gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of justice, are the most powerful forces of good ever assembled. Dedicated to truth, justice, and peace for all mankind.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spin the Rack. Today we're talking about Ghost in the Shell. Listen, Scarlett Johansson is one of the best superhero actors around. If you don't like Black Widow, you are out of your frigging mind. So, I'm introducing my boys once again. Cal, Petey. Are you guys agreeing with me? This movie, the trailers, it looks off the hook. We gotta support Scarlett Johansson.
We got to.
Bow!
You got to support her.
Yes we do, because she's hot.
She's very hot.
Because
and
Marvel,
they
why?
up the ante with the
Don't bring
crazy
Marvel
skin
into this.
outfit.
Don't bring Marvel into
The
this.
skin tight outfit.
You want this 5 minutes? Don't bring
Really
Marvel into
solid.
this.
I'm bringing Marvel into this. This
Okay.
movie is a result of Marvel not making a Black Widow movie.
No,
and
this
I'm
movie
going to
is
say this right
great.
now.
No,
A
I
will
direct,
feel that way. They
you know?
should have done a.
So they're
Black
saying
Widow
they would
movie.
have never done this. No,
They-
you can say her doing the film, okay, but she's got the star quality, okay, and we already saw that she can carry a solo film. She's done action
Lucy.
films before. This is not a big deal.
Kevin, you're my boy. Kevin,
So we're
why didn't you
turning
give it
this
to the movie,
into
man?
not about the trailer that is an exciting trailer. We're about trying to con Marvel into doing a Black Widow movie.
No,
Look,
we're
the
not
trailer-
calling it.
look,
The trailer was
the
good,
trailer's
and we
good.
like
The trailer looks very good. It's reminiscent. I have to admit, it's reminiscent of some other things that I've already seen. I see some flashes of Aeon Flux. I definitely see some flashes of Trinity from the Matrix. Okay, I even see some flashes of humans from sci-fi when it comes down to it. But the biggest problem with that, and it's not a fault of the film, it's like who gets out there first.
And those have been out there. This movie, the original was what, from
I think
the 1990s?
What the anime?
Yeah,
the
anime-
manga?
Yeah, the manga was from 1990s.
But it's like who gets
so
out?
That's why you have.
It's who gets out there first. It's like
Yes.
I think we were talking with Petey about this before. There's like that classic scene with the Flash in the first in the origin,
God, yeah.
where the waitress is coming and she trips and everything falls, and in the comic you see him catch everything. Everybody else and their brother got a chance to do that before you actually saw the Flash did it, to the point that he's never done it.
But that's plagiarism.
It's definitely plagiarism, but they
Somebody
got there
else
first.
yeah.
That's the biggest thing I see with the film. Somebody else got there first. So,
Don't
yes, when you
steal
look at
this.
it, you'll say, hey, I've seen this already. This looks familiar. Yeah, it's all familiar, but you still have to engross yourself in a really good story.
But
And
that's-
The visuals
But
are
that's like-
stunning.
But that's like saying Moses. It's like saying, yeah, I like Shakespeare, but too many cliches. Like, come on, you can't just.
But that's
steal from the
Shakespeare.
original.
That's Shakespeare.
Of course you can steal from the original.
That's
can't-
Shakespeare.
Especially if most people haven't read the original. They're going to take this as what it came from, okay?
You
Take
don't-
the whole
Spider-Man,
cliche thing with-
You don't need to steal the grabbing the tray thing and reflexes scene. You don't need to steal that.
No, but they did.
They stole
they
it
did.
completely.
Hey, when
I've
the
seen
Flash,
Superman
the
do it
Flash,
so many times. it's
the Flash had
ridiculous.
his own television series, and on the television series they never did it. Okay.
Was it on long
And-
enough for it to do it?
Yes, it was on for a full season. They had enough time to do that. They never did it. And it's a classic scene involving the Flash. They've never. I mean, there are a lot of. I mean, look, there are some classic Superman scenes that they haven't done. But could you imagine if they never did a sequence with him opening up his shirt to show the S, and then everybody else did it before him? And then when he does it, people are like, oh yeah, he ripped off Spider-Man. That was in the
But
Spider-Man
that
movie.
doesn't mean
You got to
that
get
they
there and do
should
it.
have done it. They should not have done it.
Okay.
Okay, so guys, let's rein this in. What do you think? What do you think of the review? What do you think of the trailer?
Trailer's good. Good
Are you going to
trailer.
go see the movie?
Yeah, I think it looks exciting. It looks kind of weird. I don't know how far it's going to push it, but it looks like it could be fun. I just don't want it to be too dark. It looks really dark in that weird spider.
Techno, future,
Oh.
Tokyo.
Well, that's what they're going for.
Yeah.
It's dark.
So that's
What
what
do
I'm
you-
worried about.
What do you think?
Both trailers. Both look very good, very polished, very professional. I can't say if I'm going to be an opening day viewer, though. That I'm not 100% certain on. As much as I say, hey, look, it's not their fault that they didn't get there first, I have seen this before to a certain extent in terms of the execution and the design and the special effects. So, will I be a first? On opening day, will I be there? I'm not 100% certain. Maybe the next weekend, but it depends. It depends at this point. I am going to see it. I just can't say when. I'm hoping that it won't turn into. I'm gonna wait for the rental. You know, I don't want it to get to that point. So I want to read some reviews. You know, I want to learn a little bit more about the story. But it looks good. I can't argue with that.
So, quick question, guys.
Well, what about all of the what's the name?
the controversy about it not being an Asian actress? Does that at all impact your desire to view the film?
No. At the end of the day, it's a story about a robot. So, or at least a cybernetic organism. So you can make them look however you want them to. And at this point, I'm just kind of tired of the story where this has to be this particular character. We understand how Hollywood works. I think we understand how the world works when it comes to film as well. It is what it is to a very large extent until that changes. So I just don't have a big issue with it. It's not like it's not like you're taking the entire story, okay, and changing it into a Western, which I would have more of a problem with, or approximating that. You're going to put...
Complaining about Westworld?
No, Western.
Are you complaining about Westworld?
Well, didn't they do that with the ninja, with the samurai movies? They made them into Westerns and vice versa. So, I mean, what are you talking about? People just take the movies and they do what they have to do.
No, I'm saying you're taking this and you're totally I mean, they've done this before. Well, you'll have a story, and the story stays set in a Western. And they said, no, you know what? We're going to keep the same story, but instead we're going to bring it, it's like telling a Zorro's tale, and instead you're going to put Zorro in Los Angeles in 2017, and he's riding a horse. He looks ridiculous.
But a Zorro in Los Angeles in 2017, but he's doing the same type of things, protecting the people from losing their land, and fighting against the evil.
No, Zorro works very
Zorro 2017.
Zorro works
Good
very
idea.
well. Zorro works very well in California. Okay, he works very well in his particular surroundings. And even the last Zorro film with Antonio Banderas, he wasn't even Don Diego de la Vega anymore. This was a new guy who inherited. So I don't mind certain changes. I'm not fixated on certain things in terms of how the character needs to look, depending on what the storyline is.
But that takes away. No, I gotta take your task there, because then you say shows like Sherlock Holmes, the new ones, Sherlock, the one. What's the other one with the guy on CBS? The
Elementary.
Elementary. I mean, then they can't change. You're basically saying the character has to stay in one.
But those shows they changed.
Right, but I'm saying they had to change the shows, because they had to update.
No,
Sherlock
you don't
Holmes.
have to update, because even on Sherlock, they did a Victorian era show, and they showed no, they can do this. They decided they wanted to do this. I don't have a problem with variations on a theme, okay, so long as the theme is kept. Once you decide we're going to just totally undercut the theme, what did I come here to see? If this is the same story, okay, the robot, what is it? Scarlett Johansson is in there. I'd be more if they tried to make her look, Japanese for the story. No, we understand why she gets the role, because she's popular enough and a good enough actress to pull this off. And Hollywood's not going to throw money behind the film unless they know that, look, we're going to be able to get it back.
You're right about that.
You get someone over here who happens to be, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, who could fit in the role. And that was the same issue that people had with Memoirs of a Geisha. Memoirs of a Geisha is supposed to be a film set in Japan. Most of the leads were not Japanese in that film. No, there's nobody out there protesting about cultural appropriation. We can throw this in here as long as you fit the look.
Didn't they do that, though?
Yeah, they did a little bit of that.
There being a
But no,
complaint,
it wasn't a different time. Like
and the
now,
fact that it didn't
people
do that well.
But now, this is
You
time
got-
where people go crazy.
Well,
But
yeah, 'cause you got Scottish people out there in front of Kentucky Fried Chicken. Cultural appropriation. We made fried chicken. It's like, give it up, people. Give it up,
well,
okay?
What didn't they play this? Did they play it in the trailer in? Was it in China that they played? And it was a
Memoirs of a Geisha?
No, this Ghost in the Shell. And there was a big positive reaction to it.
Okay.
So I mean, that's the aspect of saying fighting for something like people were fighting over, like Iron Fist. Like, why isn't Iron Fist Asian? Or
Iron Fist Asian.
Yeah.
a lot of dumb
Iron Fist isn't
people like
Asian.
saying,
Yeah, but they wanted to change them. Their whole thing is about, well, we're going to redress past grievances by, swapping this guy out. And I said, if you want to do that, just do Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is already Chinese.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. Yeah, I wouldn't have done Iron Fist Asian. It
what
takes
was
away.
it? It's on. What was it? They were talking about Doctor Strange on Gilbert Gottfried's podcast, and they were like saying, I don't know why the ancient one isn't Asian, because they had another person in there that was Asian right next to him.
Yep.
So it's like that job could have went to it, and that's the other argument about this. This is, I think, only a little different since it is a robot, and it's saying, "Hey, we want maximum bucks," and she's a big draw.
Yeah, with the
So-
ancient
but-
one,
but-
I was on record. I didn't agree with
Yeah.
that change at all. But also because it fundamentally changed the dynamic of the Doctor Strange story, where it was this father-son thing between Doctor Strange and the Ancient One. The Ancient One was also frail, more feeble in terms of physical strength. They turned her into the generic fighting warrior badass. And and then the other thing where the change in terms of gender and the change in terms of ethnicity almost are minor compared to the fundamental changes they make in terms of structure to the story and the relationship in terms of character. I don't go for any of those particular changes, but I've just seen them so much. Now I have to okay, fine. How much does this affect the story? How much does this add to the story? And I can go with it from there. Certain characters, no. It's just without a doubt, I don't want to see the change at all. That's me as the viewer, me as the reader. But here, you can only protest so much. They're not going to throw a lot of money behind a new actress, okay, in a property like this that is also unproven. They want to know that they're going to get some sort of return back for it. That's why they throw Johnny Depp into the Lone Ranger and make him play Tonto, which was totally ridiculous.
Well, no.
Oh, Johnny
You can't
Depp.
go to that one
Let's
because
not
it was
talk about
so-
Johnny Depp because that's ridiculous. That character.
And then his money is just going down.
He'll be all right. Pirates of the Caribbean 16.
He was bad even in that. What was that movie he was last in? He showed up at the end of the movie. Oh man, it was so terrible.
I don't know. I don't watch Johnny Depp. I don't really like his stuff.
No, because the one movie where they switched the villains at the end and he pops up. Damn it.
I don't know.
Okay, so we're all in agreement. We're all going to check it out. So
Just don't know when.
Scarlett Johansson, down with you, baby.
Total babe.
All the way. Okay. Black Widow movie. Come on.
Never
Yeah.
gonna
Spit it right
happen.
out.
Never gonna
Why?
happen.
Why do you keep saying that?
Because it's not gonna happen.
Next
Why
one,
not?
guys.
They just don't want
Never
to make
gonna
it.
happen.
They-
Never gonna
They
happen.
can do it in 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's why it's never gonna happen. If they want,
That doesn't
look,
make
here's the
any
deal. If you can
sense.
do it in 2 seconds, they would have done it already. They're not
They
gonna
can
do it.
Captain America in 2 seconds.
Yep.